Let's review the different components that allow us to talk about something that we call the law of conservation of mass. So first we have to go over a couple of definitions. Matter describes the particles that make up the universe. Matter is the stuff that everything else is made of. Mass is a measure of the amount of particles. So it's the amount of matter or the amount of stuff in an object. The volume then is the amount of space an object occupies, or the amount of space matter takes up or matter occupies. So we have matter, those are the actual particles. Mass is a measure of the amount or how many particles we have. And volume is a measure of the amount of space that those particles or that matter occupies. We can talk about how mass is conserved and mass is not conserved. When we say mass is conserved, there is no change in mass. It stays the same. That happens when we change the shape of something by stretching it apart or squishing it down. When we dissolve, say, sugar or salt in water or in another liquid, or when we simply mix things together and there is no change in mass. We call that, or we describe that as mass being conserved. When we say mass is not conserved, that's the same thing as saying that there is a change in mass. Mass changed when mass is not conserved. And that happens when there's a release of gas, when there's a reaction with something outside of our measured system that we didn't include originally, anything that results in a change of mass. Something's either going out or coming into the system. We can combine all of these things in kind of a couple of different laws. So the first law is the law of conservation of system mass. And that law says that system mass changes only when particles enter or leave a system. So we define a system, whether it's a beaker, a test tube, water, and sugar. And when we dissolved that, we saw that mass didn't change, or however we define our system. We have a law of conservation, a universal law of conservation, which says that if the entire universe is our system, so everything that exists is our defined system, our total mass will never change, because things can't go in and out of the universe. We can't have things go in and out of our system. Therefore, mass never changed. And all of these encompass what we've been hearing forever, and that is matter cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be changed. We can't make new mass. So if we have an increase in mass, it had to come from somewhere. We can't just destroy matter, so we can't just have a random decrease in mass. It went somewhere else. And if we include our entire universe in our system, then our total mass is never going to change.